Like as the waves make toward the pebbled shore, so do our minutes hasten to their end. Each changing place by that which goes before, in sequent toil, all forwards do contend. Nativity, once in the main of light, crawls to maturity, wherewith being crowned, crooked eclipses 'gainst his glory fight, and time that gave doth now his gift confound. Time doth transfix the flourish set on youth, and delves the parallels in beauty's brow, feeds on the rarities of nature's truth, and nothing stands before his scythe to mow. And yet to times and hope my verse shall stand, praising thy worth, despite his cruel hand.
Very relaxed, right?
Yep.
What else?
I think your diction today is really good.
Mm-hmm.
But dare I say more dramatic suspensions?
I think you're right, but also don't shortchange the ones that you have, because your mastery of the sonnet is becoming more and more apparent the more you work on it, especially now that you're really employing these techniques. Okay, it's really clear. I think though that if you take even more time with it, without being self-indulgent, without a sense of timing, always a sense of pace and timing. But what the dramatic suspensions do is they slow down time lawfully, and then you catch up with it. You catch back, right? So then we can really start to hear the deeper qualities of the meaning of the sonnet. The audience can start to hear it, and it becomes a deeper event for them, a deeper experience. So master it that way. Master it as you have in your hands an amazing piece of art that you're going to give them. An amazing experience at your fingertips you're going to give them. But you have to take your time with it. Okay, all right. Try it again.
Like as the waves make toward the pebbled shore, so do our minutes hasten to their end. Each changing place by that which goes before. In sequent toil, all forwards do contend.
Hold on. Now try this. Dramatic suspension, a quick one. Like as the waves. And then another one after so. So do our minutes. And then another one after each.
Okay.
Try it. See what that does.
Like as the waves.
Take a breath after like, though.
Like as the waves make toward the pebbled shore, so do our minutes.
Take a breath after so. A dramatic suspension after so, right? And then each.
Like as the waves make toward the pebbled shore, so do our minutes hasten to their end. Each changing place by that which goes before. In sequent toil, all forwards do contend. Nativity, once in the main of
Now
light.
go back and do that again. Because once all forwards do contend, I wasn't sure what you were going to do with the breath, because I don't agree with you.
What, say that again?
In sequent toil, all forwards do contend. I think you had an impulse to take a breath, but you didn't.
Oh, I
And I'm thinking, why not? Why not just go ahead and do it, right?
Okay.
Now, what did that do?
Clarity.
Clarity. To me it was clear. Because
Okay.
to start off with like, it's so important. It's on what normally would not be the stressed word. Like as the waves make toward the pebble shore. Like as the waves make, it gets back up, make toward the pebble shore. Like is very important. Because it's so important to the thought. Just like the waves making toward the pebble shore, so do our minutes hasten to their end. I mean, it's an existential, there's an existential deepness to it, to the
Yeah.
thought. Like the water, seemingly inconsequential water waves going back and forth on the shore. It's the same thing as our minutes, our lives hastening to their end, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it can be inconsequential, or it can be a monumental experience.
Oh,
So think about that.
yeah.
You know? Okay, here we go. That will force you also to take your time. You have mastery of this, you understand. Now understand it on a deeper level also. Keep adding nuance to the depth of the thought, of what's available there. Here we go.
Like as the waves make toward the pebbled shore, so do our minutes hasten to their end, each changing place by that which goes before. In sequent toil, all forwards do contend. Nativity, once in the main of light.
You didn't have to rush into nativity. You
No.
didn't have to.
Okay.
No.
Nativity, once in the main of light, crawls to maturity, wherewith being crowned.
Take it again. Stay in your first register with nativity.
Okay. Nativity,
But make sure we hear it and crisp. Nativity. I would say nativity more than
Nativity?
Yeah.
okay. Nativity,
You don't have to
not
linger
on
on A. Yeah,
Okay.
you don't have to.
Nativity, once in the main of light, crawls to maturity, wherewith being crowned. Crooked eclipses against his glory fight, and time that gave.
And time, dramatic suspension. And time, it's so important to the theme. And time, right, dramatics, that gave breath, doth now breath his gift confound. Clarity.
Okay. Nativity, once in the main of light.
Even there you can be much more liberal in your choices. Nativity, once, I'm showing you, right here. Nativity, once, I'm taking a breath after once. In the main of light, breath, crawls to maturity, breath, wherewith, being crowned, breath, right? Give yourself, manipulate your breathing to your intention to keep the thought alive. So it never becomes, it never has a sense of a prefabricated thought, but it's right now, it's happening right now.
Okay. Nativity, once in the main of light, crawls to maturity, wherewith being crowned. Crooked eclipses against his glory fight, and time that gave doth now his gift confound.
Good.
Time doth transfix.
Don't rush.
Time doth
Went on a
transfix.
dramatic suspension. You just went time, or time. I don't remember what note you left off on. time, dramatic suspension, because you're going to keep this
Yeah.
idea, right?
Yeah. Time doth transfix the flourish set on youth, and delves the parallels.
Okay, great. I love what you did with flourish, but take a breath after transfix. Time, that dirty old bastard, doth transfix. Breath. The flourish. Sorry, don't shout. The flourish set on youth.
Okay.
Okay.
Time doth transfix the flourish set on youth, and delves the parallels.
Do it again. You're making too much of a meal out of it. That dramatic suspension after time, a breath after transfix, a breath after, yeah. Those two breaths.
Okay. Time doth transfix the flourish set on youth,
Good.
and delves the parallels in beauty's brow, feeds on the rarities.
Why not try a dramatic suspension after feeds? Feeds.
Feeds on the rarities of nature's truth, and nothing stands before his scythe to mow.
And what does that mean? And nothing stands but for his, what's the
And
consequence?
nothing stands, and that nothing, my context, not even my, but my context at the end, it talks about how my context in my verse is strong because time cuts down everything with its dangerous hand. It's sharp and
The scythe, right?
yeah, with the scythe.
Feeds on the rarities of nature's truth. And nothing, you have to, right? It's like, I'm not giving you a line reading, but the line is so important. And nothing stands but for his scythe to mow. And that's true, right? We all died.
Yeah.
Okay, take it again. From time doth transfix.
Time doth transfix the flourish set on youth.
Don't go into a euphoric state here. Stay real. Time, that dirty bastard, or time, depending on which register you want to use. Okay.
Time doth transfix the flourish set on youth, and delves the parallels in beauty's brow, feeds on the rarities of nature's truth, and nothing stands before his scythe to mow. And yet to times and hope my verse shall stand.
Okay, but here you have, and yet, why not a dramatic suspension after times? And yet to times, times. I'm not giving you a read. And yet I'm just saying an inflection on times and a dramatic suspension.
And yet to times in hope my verse shall stand, praising thy worth despite his cruel hand.
Do it again, take real breaths.
Time,
And yet,
okay. And yet to times in hope, no.
okay, what about this? What about dramatic suspension after yet? And yet to times in hope, breath. Okay, and yet dramatic suspension.
Yeah. And yet to times in hope my verse shall stand, praising thy worth despite his cruel hand.
The breathing is way too laborious. Are you getting tired?
Yeah.
Get in your first register. Simplify it.
And yet to times in hope
Take a real breath.
my verse shall stand,
Nice. Nice and easy.
praising thy worth despite his cruel hand.